Today I'll be taking a look at the new 4K release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Many people have been contacting me about this film since it was in cinemas to tell me they think it should have been called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dross. But is it really that bad? I don't think so. In fact, I think it's really rather good. So, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The pack comes with a Blu-ray which is exceptional quality. I think many people are going to think the Blu-ray is better than the 4K. It's not to my eyes. This looks just like a film print. This, although brilliant, looks a bit more like a video. The colours are too rich on here, they're more natural, and there's a faux film grain effect in this that I was looking at it saying maybe they shot some of this 35mm. It looked that convincing in here, but it wasn't. It was all 4.5K digital video. The aspect ratio is 2.39 to 1, 2.40 to 1. The sound on the 4K is Dolby Atmos, so in here 5.1 THX. And on the Blu-ray it's DTS-HD 7.1. I don't think the sound is quite as good, or it didn't make as much impact as some other recent action releases on 4K and Blu-ray disc, but it's still exceptionally good, and I don't think anyone will be disappointed with it. It's just being as this is a THX system, you really base things on bass. That's what THX is about. Yes, you've got all the multi-directional firing tweeters and the rears that fire the sound in every direction around the rear of the room, but overall it's the bass where you really notice the impact. And this didn't really have so much as other recent releases, but very nice sound, very nice image quality. I was fairly convinced that I was watching a film for much of it, so it really is that good to look at. But it didn't do that well at cinemas. It had an estimated budget of $295 million, but only took at the worldwide box office $384 million, so presumably running at quite a loss there, and the home video and the streaming markets are going to be vitally important for this one to hopefully turn a profit. I feel pretty confident it will, because I thoroughly enjoyed this film, so did my wife. There are some imperfections with it, but you have to expect that with just about any film. But on the 4K, I should have checked it on the Blu-ray, but I didn't notice it, or didn't actually look at that section on the Blu-ray. An early action sequence in here with the parade where Indiana Jones is riding horseback and being chased by a villain on a motorbike. There seemed to be a couple of sequences in there where it was skipping frames. Maybe it was just the way the CGI had been compiled, I don't know. But a couple of times that occurred, and we seemed to spot it in another place later on where it wasn't even an action scene, that it seemed to skip a few frames. So could be how it was compiled, might have been a flaw in the original, might be something unique to these discs, but I expect this one will be in a lot of people's stockings over the festive period, and let's hope so, because I really do think it deserves it. Now, it was directed by James Mangold, who just happened to direct what I think is one of the best films of recent years, Le Mans 66, known as Ford v Ferrari in America. I think this is a terrific film, and this director is clearly highly capable. So why did this film, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, just why did it appear to get universally bad reviews? Well, I've been thinking about that, and I think perhaps the big thing is that Harrison Ford's just got a bit old now, and he can't really go around behaving like he did when he was a 30-odd-year-old playing Indiana Jones in Raiders and Temple of Doom and even The Last Crusade. I thought he was very good in Crystal Skull, but clearly he's just got a bit older for this. I think he was 79 when he made it, so he's not going to be quite the adventurer he was, but there's still plenty of it in this. And to start with, it's gone back to the Second World War, and he's in, well, occupied Europe somewhere, fighting the Nazi Germans once more, or trying to get something from them, and they've reproduced him as a younger Indiana Jones. Well, the opening shot of him as the young Indiana Jones, I thought, "Struth, he still looks good." I thought, no, this has got to be a computer-generated image. And what they've done, I think, is just that part of the face, the eyes, and above are actually Harrison Ford as he is today, or was when he made this. And I think the rest of it's been replaced by what they had at Lucasfilm in the archives to generate him as a younger man. But as the lighting changes, you can see, and this is a common problem, you just cannot reproduce real life human beings, even though it was partially using Harrison's face there and the eyes, which are fundamentally important, the life in the eyes. And there's one sequence where he's running on the top of a train. It just didn't look real. So there's a few things like that you've got to be prepared for, but it's 2 hours and 34 minutes long, and for the most part I just found it such a good fun action adventure. Some people will find that Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones in this is a bit cynical. I think life has put him on a bit of a downer recently, and I found that quite funny. I liked him like that because to me that is Harrison Ford. But interestingly, if you watch the extras, which are on the Blu-ray disc only, as a 5-part making of, don't know how long that all runs, but maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I found that I watched those immediately after the film and I got a better appreciation for the film. And Harrison Ford, throughout most of this, you could see he was having a great time. Normally we see him as a right old curmudgeon, and in this, for the most part, he was just terrific fun and everyone was enjoying being around him, including people like Antonio Banderas, who you'll see in this film. And there's a lot of stars that come up in it. Mads Mikkelsen as the villain. But the disillusioned Indiana Jones character in this one, the fact that there's so much computer generated imagery, and maybe also that when it first comes on, it's got the Disney label on it, and I know Disney are out of favour now, and there's reasons for that I won't go into, but it seems that they're a bit out of favour. Maybe that immediately put people off this film, so they didn't want to give it a chance. I don't know, but I saw the Disney name and I thought, how on earth have they got hold of this one? Shouldn't it be Paramount? But that's just another factor perhaps why people perhaps didn't give it a chance or didn't like it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's a great 4K disc. If you're on the fence about it, because there are perhaps a few missing frames in it, I know will drive some people nuts and they'll think the whole thing's been messed up for that reason. I don't feel that way. But if you're on the fence, you can't make up your mind about it, you maybe want to see it but you don't want to spend £25, the Blu-ray is exceptional. Yes, I think it's too bright and the colours are too vibrant on it, and for that reason it looks more like a video, but I think most people will feel that that looks exceptional. And in fact, when Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out on Blu-ray, did actually see this at the Odeon Leicester Square. This came out on Blu-ray. I put that on. It was one of the early Blu-rays, wasn't it? I put that on and I thought this should be costing hundreds of pounds. It looks that good. So I haven't watched this in years. I really must get around to watching it again. But I think it's similar to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny in terms of quality. So both look exceptionally good. And if we want to go back to earlier Indiana Jones home movie releases, well, this one's one of the most sought after Super 8 releases of all time. This was a 400-foot reel put out by Marketing Film International. And there's my cinema tickets from when I saw it years ago at the National Film Theatre. That was on a one-off screening at the National Film Theatre, and my wife hadn't actually seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, so I took her to see it and she loved it. But that is one of the earliest home movie releases for Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is quite special to have, but I was never that enamoured with the quality. But fortunately, years later, on here, this is two 1200-foot reels, came out full length in scope, and that's a pretty nice Super 8 print. And after that, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade full length on Super 8. So I'm a bit of an Indiana Jones fan, and I am a fan of Dial of Destiny. Certainly not the Dial of Dross for me. So I don't think I can recommend it for everyone, given that there have apparently been some dire reviews out there, but maybe give the Blu-ray a chance if you don't fancy getting the 4K. Now, another one I wanted to bring to your attention, because it's coming out this Monday as I record this. Season 4 of CREEPSHOW. I haven't had a chance to look at all of this yet. I've skimmed through bits of it. I've watched the whole of the first episode. Looks like more of the same. Never been so much fun being scared. The same sort of thing we know from the original 1982 film and the sequel and the previous 3 series of CREEPSHOW. So I really enjoyed series 1 to 3. Acorn Media sent me this one to hopefully give it a bit of promotion on here, and it's going to be another one I'm going to thoroughly enjoy looking at and hope to do so over the coming days. So I'll give you an update on that once I've had a chance to watch it all, let you know what I think of it. I don't suppose the season 4 is going to be quite as good as what went before, but you never know. There might be a classic or two in here like there was in each of the previous series. But if you've enjoyed CREEPSHOW up to now, then there's another one for you to look out for shortly. But let's finish with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I liked the curmudgeonly old Indiana Jones in this. I thought it was wonderful, and it set up the ending. I won't say anything about that, but with one of my all-time favourite actresses, so beautiful to see that. A lovely ending to the film. I thought it was all set up very well, and in case you miss it in this, I think you can't really miss it. All the sound effects that you know, the whiplashes and the people being punched, there's all ridiculous sound effects that have gone through the whole Indiana Jones series. This one uses them again, and that's just wonderful. And the score by John Williams. I mean, how does that man keep turning them out? And every time he redoes them, they seem to get better and better. This one is no exception. So I think that brings us to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and perhaps consider subscribing so I'll be encouraged to carry on creating content like this. Until the next video, bye bye for now.